Okay, we're back. So what I was planning to do here was make what's called a stash. Although, actually, let me, see, is there a, no, there's no containers here. Come on, just... Okay, and so if you're a burden, that makes you move slower, just a note. So we're going to be dropping some of the stuff we have here. Wait a minute. Oh wait, wow! I should be read this thing. Why didn't I read this thing? I keep forgetting to do all of these things. It's a wonder I haven't died yet with me forgetting all these things. Let's get here. That's a fairly safe place. We've got our pet to protect us. But wait, did we actually? Let me make sure. Were there enemies here? Yeah, make sure you get rid of the enemies. Okay, our pet's here to protect us if any monsters appear. So let's try reading this. Knock spell, yay! Well, you can uppercase Z to try to, cast something. As you can see, our spell failure rate is very high. Very high. Your chance of successfully casting a spell, the spell book should be enough. Those things are pretty heavy, actually. Depends on a lot of things. Your roll, some rolls are better at, casting things than others. Obviously, wizards are aces. Valkyries are not very good in that department. There's your level. The higher the level, the more easily you can cast a spell. Here's your skill in that particular spell school. Again, Valkyries can only increase in attack and escape spells, though. There's the level of the spell itself. Higher level, harder to cast. There's intelligence or wisdom, depending on your role. I think it's wisdom for Valkyrie. A higher one in your spells casting stat for your role makes it easier. If you're wearing a big shield, that makes it harder. If you're wearing, which we're not, we're just using a small shield, but if it's anything other than a small shield, it will count as big and make it harder to cast things. There's, if you're wearing metallic armor other than a Helm of Brilliance, that makes it harder for you. And there's also your level. Did I mention that? Higher level, easier casting. I think that's everything. It's a fairly complicated formula. But because we're wearing a lot of metallic armor, like our helm, our splint mail, our iron shoes, and we're not that great at spellcasting to begin with, we're, having problems with that. Oh, and if you're wearing a robe, it increases your chance of spellcasting things correctly. Alright. Oh, something I didn't mention. Sometimes these boulders will be large mimics. When you've done this a lot of times, you'll just kind of notice which boulders are out of place. Like this one right here to my left. That's a large mimic. It shouldn't be there. So you just have to kind of kill it. These things can deal a bunch of damage, but they're also very slow. But they also have a sort of sticking attack so that you have trouble moving away from them. So you might want to try to take them out from a distance. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. Of course, you can always engrave Elbereth to, stop the sticking attack. Alright, let me see. Okay, I need to concentrate on this. This isn't a terribly hard one, but if you do something wrong, you can mess it up. I mean, it's straightforward, but if you accidentally, press the wrong button, you could screw things up. So, let me just think about this. I'm going to have to stop talking for a little bit. Well, I guess I might as well go back to the magic. So that's my Urzatron deck. Yep, I already explained all of that. Actually, I already talked all about that. Oh, when I was talking about Modern and Legacy and stuff, there's different formats of Magic the Gathering that allow different sets. Standard is just the most recent sets, and it constantly rotates, sets out. It's the most popular one because, well, one, it gets the most support from Wizards of the Coast, because obviously, when sets are constantly being removed, you have to keep getting new sets to keep up with it. That's how they sell stuff. But also, it's the easiest one to get into, because, it's the most recent cards. There's not any older cards that might be hard to find. Standard cards are very easy to find because they're also recent. Legacy basically allows all cards, except for the stuff that's banned. There's another format called Vintage, which is like Legacy, except instead of banning cards if they're too powerful, they'll restrict them. So, even if something is really crazy powerful, you can still run in your deck just no more than one. There are a few cards that are banned in Vintage, but none of them are for power levels. There's, wait, I goofed this up one sec. Way back in the day, they printed some cards called Dexterity cards that just sort of involve throwing them up in the air and it destroys the stuff that it lands on. I mean, in the game, obviously you don't, like, actually destroy the physical card. So those are, things like that are banned, for example. But, it makes it a bit different than Legacy. Anyway, Modern is a format that, it's like Legacy in that it kind of doesn't rotate, cards don't get removed, but it only allows cards starting from a certain set point, which is 8th edition. See, what happened was, this is kind of interesting. I bet you're really interested in this, aren't you? For a while, they had this format called Extended, which was like Standard in that it rotated, but it went back much further. Extended, I think, was kind of popular at first, but it, for a number of reasons, kind of lost popularity and was mostly only played because, they kind of made people play it. If you want to, like, play competitively, and the competitive, tournaments are in Extended, you kind of have to learn how to play it. It wasn't really that popular. Eventually, they kind of noticed people are playing this and people are playing Legacy. People like Legacy. Here's a problem. Because for complicated reasons that are kind of complicated to explain, Wizard of the Coast a while ago made this promise not to ever reprint certain cards. Some of those cards are really important in Legacy, but they can't reprint them according to that promise, and they can't, so, you can't make more, so their prices just get crazy high. That's why some of the Magic cards, the older ones, are just absurdly expensive, because they can't reprint them. You might say, well, just because they said they would, doesn't mean they have to stick by that. Why not just rescind it? Well, that's what a lot of players say, but for one reason or another, for reasons they've refused to discuss, they've decided to keep it. From what I can tell, it was like a decision by the higher-ups, not the people who necessarily, like, directly make the game. Some people think it's like maybe a legal reason, like they're afraid of getting sued for breaking their promise. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the way it is. So we're like, okay, we used to do these. Now, there are no... But we stopped doing that after a while. So why don't we just have a non-rotating set thing like Legacy that doesn't include those cards? So they made Modern. A lot of that probably sounded like gobbledygook if you're not familiar with Magic, but I hope I was informative, sort of. Yeah, I seem to like Centipede. Oh yeah, those things do have a poisonous attack. It's unlikely, but they can kill you with it. Man, normally I get poison resistance by now. That's actually one of the great things about barbarians. They start with poison resistance. No, Valkyries just get cold resistance. Anyway, that's enough about Magic. That was just kind of random chit-chat. Here's a large mimic. Let's kill it. I'm gonna go pick this up. Sometimes these will hatch into monsters that are loyal to you. Usually not, and usually they're kind of lame monsters, but hey. But anyway, we're done with the small talk. Let's start getting going. Now, over here, there's what's called like a treasure zoo. There's a lot of gold, but a lot of enemies. Normally I would unlock this, but we gotta kick it open. There we go. So we just do a choke point here, so we only have to deal with one at a time. Yeah, we gotta kill it, sorry. Search to stop. Come on. Okay. Yeah, this isn't so hard. Then again, we did get kind of... I mean, we did get some pretty good armor early on, so... Oh yeah, I was so bad. I wasn't even... I forgot to mention. There's 2 versions of each level of Sokoban, including the final level. This version will give you an Amulet of Reflection. The other version gives you a Bag of Holding. Bag of Holding, you can put stuff in there, and it makes it lighter, letting you carry more stuff. Amulet of Reflection gives you reflection, which is pretty useful. It protects you from, say, the floating eyes, but it also will protect you from various ray attacks, including the otherwise deadly Wand of Death. Let's see, anything good here? Well, there's some gold. We can get that. Garter snakes, thankfully, are not poisonous. Oh, we can increase longsword more. Let's do it. Okay, let's get that. This is on Elbereth. Something to mention. I mentioned earlier if you engrave it while you're stepping on it, enemies will run from you. If you engrave it on a square, enemies won't step on it if there's something there. So, well, I think there's a few enemies that might, but most don't. So you can take this and put it on. And this is an Amulet of Reflection. We know that because that's how this level works. Alright, so we got that now. Unfortunately, we're burdened, but that's okay. We can just, yeah, maybe I'll just eat something. There we go. And now, since we got our Amulet of Reflection, we can kill this thing without being worried. Watch. See, it's reflected by your medallion. We don't get frozen. An orange spellbook. Ah, well, that's gonna encumber me. Well, let's get the gold, I suppose. Oh, red naga hatchling. Oh man, I meant to eat that earlier, but it's probably rotten by now. And we're satiated. You don't want to eat while you're satiated because you can choke and die. Well, we got everything, I think, from here. Oh, I don't think I tested out some of these wands. Because, again, I'm bad at this game, apparently. Which ones have we not tried? Let's try Jeweled. Alright, well, that one automatically identified. Wand of Light. It just gives you some temporary light at that location. It doesn't move around with you, but it makes it light so you can see. Actually, maybe I could try to go through the mines now that I have that. I could use that to let me see, maybe deal with that mind flayer that we see. On the downside, how did it get there? I think it must have been a bones file. I mentioned those earlier. That means there could be some pretty dangerous stuff there. Well, we'll figure it out later. First, let's finish identifying this other stuff. Okay. That was the crystal wand? Okay. Vanishes. Now, like I said earlier, if it vanishes, it is cancellation, teleportation, or invisibility. How do you figure out which one it is? Easy. We will take you take a potion or a scroll, drop it, zap it at it. If it disappears, it's a wand of teleportation because it just got teleported. If it turns into a clear potion, it's cancellation, and if it does nothing, it's invisibility because you can't make items invisible. So let's zap it. Okay, invisibility! We could zap it on ourselves to make ourselves invisible. Makes enemies a little harder. Enemies have more trouble finding you, and they can't hit you quite as well. But on the downside, it means you can't get going to shops. They don't let you if you're invisible. The only way to get in and out, really, is to be teleporting in and out, and we can't really teleport reliably. So bad idea. But we can still get back to... Oh, I should pick this up. Oh, that came out of the thing. That was didn't it say out of your plat? Yeah, that hatched out of the egg. Unfortunately, it looks like it wasn't tame this time. Okay, let's go back to this. Oh, just random note, if it's a teleportation one, when it says it vanishes, the engraving will go somewhere else on the level. Cool, huh? Now, was it the brass or copper one? Why don't we try that? Didn't identify. Let's try it anyway. Okay, that must have been that one. Okay, let's try zapping both of them at ourselves. Nope, don't know what they are then, I guess. Okay, so what do we do here? Oh, thanks, kitten. You totally moved that. Yeah, they can unfortunately move that stuff. I'm going to set up what's called a stash. It's just when you put items somewhere that you don't want, that you don't want to be carrying around. It'd be preferable if we had a wand of fire or lightning, because then you can engrave Elbereth, and those wands, it stays there permanently. Alternatively, we could try to put it all in a chest or something, but we don't have any of those, so unfortunately we have to deal with the fact enemies might pick it up. Luckily, all the enemies on a level are frozen while you're not there, so we don't have to worry about anything taking it while we're not here. Let's see what stuff we can get rid of. I don't think we need the dagger. I'll hold one just in case we need to use it. Maybe our Excalibur gets stolen or something. Oh, we have some tins. Let's try eating. Oh no, I can't. I'm satiated. We don't really need an unlabeled scroll right now. Okay, all this stuff looks like stuff that could be useful. Maybe we should try to get some of this stuff identified, or at least price identified. I guess that's what we're going to do next. Let's go back to the shop and try identifying some of the stuff. Okay. For some reason, it always stops whenever you go by a closed door. I'm wondering if I should just leave the pet behind for now. Wait a minute. I don't think I checked out this area. Okay. We can't unlock it, we can kick it open. This does have a chance of destroying something inside, but... Okay, oh, actually we could have tried to pry it open with our, with like a dagger or something, but whatever. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to use this as the thing in Sokoban. There. This'll make this less of an annoyance. Even if an enemy does actually pick up the box, you know, it's easier to just pick up the box and get the stuff rather than, what was I saying? Rather than, trying to, at least with the pet, because they can sometimes pick stuff up and just drop them all over the place. Also, I think they're less likely to pick them up if it's really heavy. Is there anything else we needed to get rid of? I think that was all the stuff we had. Yeah, let's drag the pet along if it'll come. Maybe that will make it come. Yeah, there we go. Oh wait, I didn't finish exploring this thing. Oh no, hallucination. Ugh. There's this monster called like the Black Light that's invisible that can do it. Great. It says we see a human corpse. Oh, maybe it was, yeah. We can see that that's, a human corpse there. But we wouldn't have known what it was when we were actually fighting it. Guess we might as well explore this. Oh, whoops! Oh, whoops! Oh no, that was a pet. That was our pet, wasn't it? Yeah, we can't identify it as a pet. Okay, good thing we didn't kill it. Well, that cost us a point of tameness. When it said creaks, I assume it must have meant that's the thing that it says when hallucination normally would say something like it, like growls or something. Oh, great. Shopkeeper. And I have no... And I can't act... I don't want to do this. I might accidentally walk right into them and kill them. Normally you're stopped, but... Oh, wait, now we're back to normal. Never mind. See anything interesting? Well, I don't know what any of this stuff is, so... I could really use the scroll of Identify right now. Come on, let's go up. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we were looking for the altar because that was also the level that had the thing. Oh, why won't these pets ever come to me? Maybe if I kick this open, that'll make it easier. There we go. Finally, thank you. Oh wait, oh no, wait. This was the level with the water demon, wasn't it? Well, I've got Excalibur. Maybe I'm good enough to kill it. Okay, let's see how this Vrock is. Okay, that was actually pretty easy. Thank you, Excalibur. And you know, the armor that is providing me with such a great armor class. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, just open this up so that it won't keep stopping me like that. Oh, now we're burdened, Joy. Well, here. So what if we're a little... Yeah, let's stop and see. Oh man, I was hoping you'd have a mithril coat. Those things are really good. Why are they so good? They give you great armor class and they're actually... They're not light, but they're light compared to the rest of the armor. It would definitely be less than the current armor we've got. Anyway, with that, we'll see you next video.